EPA WA meteorologist Bobby Martins here with your outlook for June 4th, 2020. We had a very interesting severe weather day yesterday. We did expect severe weather and actually had an enhanced risk across much of the area, and boy, did that come to fruition for most of you. Some areas did miss out on it, but not too many. There were some very high wind gusts, and not only from just one round like we're typically expecting in a day. We had a very long day yesterday with sending alerts, and it was from a derecho that took place yesterday with a squall line that started late morning and worked its way all the way eastward to the Jersey Shore, making it a long-lived 240 miles or greater of a thunderstorm complex that moves in generally a straight line bowing southeast as it continued to the shore points, and produced many 58 mile per hour or greater wind gusts along that line, starting all the way up in northwest PA and Clarion County, making its way all the way through central and southeastern PA, and then eventually to the shore points of New Jersey. So it's some very impressive wind gusts, 83 miles per hour in Reading Airport. There was also some high 80 mile per hour wind gust here in parts of the coastal central New Jersey county. So it was very impressive with that derecho as that made its way to the coast. But even more impressive than that is that after the atmosphere was able to recover for several hours, we had another round of scattered thunderstorms come through that kind of organized again in that same area, southeast PA, and moved into southern New Jersey. And we had some wind gusts there that were above 60 from Berks County through Montgomery, Chester, Delaware, Philadelphia. Philadelphia had another 68 mile per hour wind gust in the evening, and then it went all the way into South Jersey before it finally moved off shore. So that was a very impressive day. It's not unprecedented, but it seemed like it because we just don't have those kind of back-to-back events in the same day. Usually when you have something like that come through earlier in the day, it wipes out and zaps the atmosphere and kind of stabilizes things. That really didn't happen for some areas as we got into yesterday evening. But I don't want you to think this is the norm here. And I know most of the people that follow this video routinely know me almost personally because we interact a lot, whether it's on Facebook, social, or Twitter, or what have you. And I know a lot of the same people follow these videos just about every day religiously. You know that this is not something that's normal, but you're going to see a lot of people in future events expecting this, kind of set the bar. So they're going to expect that this is going to happen all the time, and it's just not. Yesterday was one of those rare events that doesn't typically happen. So you'll see a lot of that going forward. All this was a dud, this was a bust, and they're going to expect a lot more from what they got. And it's not going to hit your town just because there's a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. It's not going to hit your town every single time. But with that being said, we're going to have, the next couple of days, we're going to have thunderstorm possibilities straight through Saturday, although Saturday is not really a slam dunk yet. Actually, no day is really a slam dunk for any particular area. What we have today is a frontal boundary that came through last night, and that's what sparked the thunderstorms. You kind of got this stalled boundary just sitting kind of here like this, and that's really the best I can draw it because there's really not too much. There's just this wavy front here, and it's kind of a decaying front that's going to be sitting over the area for the next couple of days, and there's going to be these shortwave impulses, vorticity impulses. They're going to move along that, and they're going to produce the opportunity for some scattered thunderstorms. Now, one thing I will say about today is that the threat is going to be lessened today, and the Storm Prediction Center is indicating that, with a marginal risk for mainly areas south of I-80 and just regular thunderstorms further north, where it's a little bit more stable. If the previous image here, you're seeing where frontal boundaries is generally kind of like right here, just kind of wavy sitting there and decaying in the process. But along that boundary, there's going to be these impulses moving along that boundary. You're going to have the opportunity for some scattered thunderstorms late today into the evening, generally a mid-afternoon through mid-evening time frame, mid to late evening. We could have these thunderstorms occurring, but I don't think they're going to be largely severe. Not impossible to see it go severe, though, but I think the winds aloft are going to be a lot weaker. We're talking about 30 to 40 knot winds, so it's not really too strong. Lapse rates aren't as good as yesterday. There's some things working against the severe weather a little bit more today than yesterday, certainly, or any severe day for that matter. But we will have the opportunity for some scattered thunderstorms that could be some heavy rain involved with these wherever they do hit. And I think that's your primary focus today is the heavy rain with it. And the global models are bringing this in. It's focusing on a different area than the short-range models are. As you go to the NAM high-res future simulated radar starting off at 5 p.m. Again, most of the day is partly cloudy, very warm, very humid. And then you have the opportunity for these pop-up storms moving through. And it's just going to be where does it set up? There's going to be some stuff south of the Mason-Dixon line close to that front, I think, but then there's some other meandering stuff north here that's going to be with a vorticity impulse there, and there could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not a lot, just enough that some areas will get hit and others won't, okay? And that's going to go through the evening hours here on Thursday. And then Friday, we have a kind of the same thing. Another vorticity impulse coming in randomly during the morning hours here. It's showing on Friday morning. Once that moves through, again, later in the day, the NAM's not really showing too much, just a few scattered thunderstorms, very widely scattered at that, or isolated even. And then for Saturday, it has absolutely nothing. You have this front come through, a secondary front that's going to kick all this out of here finally on Saturday. Whether or not we have precipitation or not remains to be seen. We left an isolated chance in here for Saturday because the global models have it. The NAM does not. But here's a look at Friday on the global models. Again, same idea. Stall boundary, decaying boundary of the region. You have some scattered thunderstorms that could pop up just about anywhere across the region later on Friday. And then that goes through the evening. That's done. And then here's Saturday. Isolated to scattered thunderstorms possible here on Saturday, favoring earlier in the day with that frontal boundary. And then that moves offshore. And once it does, it's going to be clear sailing after that. We're going to have some very nice days. The humidity is going to lower. The temperatures are going to lower. We're going to be very warm and humid through Saturday until that front passes, a secondary front. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we're going to see the humidity lower a little bit. Temperatures are going to be back in the 70s, like upper 70s generally on on Sunday, mid to upper 70s, and then upper 70s on Monday. And then getting back into the 80s, at least low 80s here on Tuesday, maybe low to mid 80s here by the time we get to Wednesday. But I do think we're going to remain dry during that time frame, mostly sunny for most of it, maybe partly cloudy by the time we get to Wednesday. This, by the way, here is Cristobal. This is the tropical storm, depression, whatever it is, down here by the Yucatan Peninsula. Is going to make its way up here toward Louisiana. That's still the consensus today from the previous video. And the remnants of that are now projected to go way, way, way to the north here. So if that's the case, we might get a cold front come through here Wednesday night or Thursday, but that doesn't look like it's going to be a big deal at the moment. We're going to watch the remnants of this because just because it has it going far to the north here doesn't mean it's exactly going to turn out this way. So we'll keep an eye on it. We're talking about a day 7 forecast. That can certainly change. But it does look like we're going to have a dry stretch at least for 3 or 4 days after this system moves out here or the cold front, secondary cold front moves through on Saturday, kicks everything out as far as the heat and humidity is concerned. But we are going to have temperatures progressively increase next week as we head toward the middle of the week ahead of any cold front that is associated with this. So we'll cover that when we get into more detail when we get a little bit closer. But just keep in mind the general idea of the next couple of days is every day, mid-afternoon onward, you have an opportunity for scattered thunderstorms to move through. Might not hit your area, or it might hit others. But there is a potential for heavier rain today with the primary threat with any storms. I really don't think you're seeing too much in the way of severe. Friday is going to be a little bit more stability and a little bit better severe parameters to work with, but I think it's more isolated. It's not as scattered. And then Saturday, we'll see what we have at that point here, if there's anything to deal with at all, because the NAM is not suggesting anything. The rest of the models are pretty much expecting an isolated threat generally earlier in the day on Saturday. So we'll cover this day by day, and we'll get through this. It's only going to be a couple more days here, but I don't see a repeat of what happened yesterday for a long time. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchestad is your outlook for June 4th, 2020. Have a great Thursday.